Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our second Connect on Tally CA Connect that we do for the CA community every week once. So today, between 3 to 4, we have a session being conducted on various audit tools in Tally and how we can do it remotely. Very good afternoon, Umesh Kumar ji. Thank you for your comment. Yeah. So let me formally welcome you for today's audit session that will be conducted, and more importantly, what are the online tools to perform it remotely. The speaker and evangelist for today's Connect is CA Vikash Parekh Sarji. And before we move on, allow me a moment to introduce the speaker to the forum. CA Vikash Parekh ji is a practicing chartered accountant and one of the founder partners of MS Garv and Associates. The firm has presence in Kolkata and Guwahati, and Vikas sir has done his graduation from St. Xavier's College, Calcutta, and has been in practice since 2002. With more than post-qualification of experience of over 18 years in areas of audit, law, taxation. He also specializes in matters of GST, real estate, structuring, project management, developing SOPs, and ERP implementation. Vikas ji has been associated with several professional associations and business chambers. He is the immediate past president of DTPA, an association of professional body with more than 1,750 members. He is the co-chairman of Taxation Committee of Bharat Chamber of Commerce. He is also the member of Kolkata Study Group on GST and has been selected as a faculty of GST by ICAI. Vikas sir is also presently a member of State GST Grievance Redressal Committee. CA Vikas sir is actively involved in various ERP implementations across business sectors, and he has delivered various presentations on forums and has contributed to several articles and various journals and magazines of professional associations. Apart from the print media, he is also quite active in the digital channel, and he has his own blog under the name of cavikashparekh.blogspot.in. With this small introduction, let me now request Vikas sir to basically introduce us to what exactly are the tools in Tally Prime and how we can leverage them.
Thank you, Mr. Janak. And very good afternoon to everyone, all of you. At the outset, I would like to thank Tally to have me in today's session for sharing my views on the subject. And it's always heartening to speak in front of all friends and colleagues from the same fraternity. So thank you all for joining today's session. Friends, I remember during last lockdown also, we had a similar session and we thought that it's a temporary phase wherein we all need to learn about, remote working. However, with this second wave, which has made lives difficult for each one of us, it seems nothing is temporary. So one of the learnings this pandemic has given us is that we, along with our team members and clients, need to adapt to remote working environment, irrespective of where you are located physically. Although the due dates of compliances are being extended by the government, still it becomes difficult for us as professionals, as the entire work of audit, GST, ROC, income tax compliances, and all these jobs have to be completed simultaneously when the extended due date approaches. And I'm sure that like in the present situation, you all might be feeling that it's really very difficult to conduct these audits also, because obviously we have already lost around 2 months of this financial year, and we have to complete the audits also very soon. In fact, it is very difficult to go to client offices or to call for some documents. And most of the audit has to be conducted during data analysis only. Even in the current scenario, our employees and articles and even we are most of the times working from remote locations. In fact, like in our team, at least 50% of the team members are in fact outside the state. So they are at different locations all over the country, and still we have to work with them as a team. So this is a challenge. I'm sure most of you also might be facing such issues. And working remotely and providing data access to all of them simultaneously, working on the same work, all this is a challenge. Well, as we all know that many organizations, many clients amongst our clients are using Tally as their accounting and ERP software. In fact, Tally has come a long way. In fact, I started using it from the era of 4.5, and I'm sure many of you might have seen that DOS version also. So in today's session, we'll be focusing on how we can use, the features of Tally Prime, the latest offering from the house of Tally, to conduct the audit remotely with our team and access the client data, and also about the important audit and analysis features which are useful while auditing and which save our time. So when currently most of our team is working remotely, so we need to have these kind of tools at our disposal. So we have Mr. Darshan also here from Tally, who will be helping me in showcasing the features of Tally Prime live here only as we speak, as we discuss these things. So Mr. Darshan, you're there? Darshan?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Yeah. So let's start this session now. And the first thing is that all of you might have seen that it is not feasible and advisable, and many clients don't want to share their data, don't want to mail their data. And when our team is scattered all over the place and working remotely, it is not possible, to share the data with each and everyone and ask client that you mail the data. The clients are also not very comfortable sharing the data. So at this point of time, the first thing which we will like to, show is that how can we use the TallyNet feature and connect the client's data at their office only without downloading, without asking them to email, and allow remote access to more than one team members also if required. And they can directly connect from anywhere in the world to the data which is stored in the client's server only. So let's start with this. So the first thing I would like to ask Darshan, can you just share the screen, please? Your screen. Yeah. So first thing is that we will have to show that how you can configure the remote access at the client's end. Whatever questions you have, you can maybe post on the chat box or keep it parked till the end. I'm sure that Janak, towards the end of the session, we'll be taking up the questions.
Yes, we will take up the Q&A at the end. In the meanwhile, what the participants can do is there's a dedicated question and answer slot. So if you post it in Q&A, that will be much more easier for us to track. So that is one request. If participants can post their queries in Q&A section. Yes, Vikas.
Yeah. So now the first thing is that how you want to, configure this at the client end. Once you have to configure this at the client end. So first you have to, activate the features. We all know that F11 features are there. There is an option, allow remote access. You can see enable TallyNet services for remote access and synchronization. Yes, you have to enable this. So once you enable this, then you can, use these features. Now, second thing is that you will have to, go to the company menu on the top, you can see, and then you have to connect the company. The first thing you can do is that you can go to the, users and passwords, and you can create a TallyNet auditor email ID for accessing the client data. You are doing this at the client data. So go to the users and, users roles, users and passwords, and there you first choose the user role as TallyNet auditor. Like here, Darshan is giving the auditor email ID as suppose I am the auditor, and suppose Darshan is using the client data, he's the client. So he is giving the email ID as my ID, which is the auditor's ID. This ID can be anything. You can tell the client that this is my ID, which is going to be used for remote access by any of my team members. So suppose we have created auditor1@garvca.com, which we practically are using and we are sharing with our clients. This can be auditor 2, 3, 4, as many as you want. Now, there is an option, allow browser access. You can click there, yes. If you want to give browser access, we'll come to the browser access later on. And allow remote access should be yes. This is important. So once you do this, after that, you come out of the screen saving this. Now, you have created at the client's data, you have allowed access to an email ID of the auditor, which is in this case auditor1@gurvca.com, which is your email ID. Now you need to connect the company at client end. There's an option connect. Okay, someone asked me to repeat. I'll just quickly repeat that you have to go from company to users, and this is the client data. You have to go to user and passwords menu option once only to configure. There you have to configure Tally Net Auditor will be the user role, and your ID. Your ID means auditor's ID will be given by the client here, and browser access and remote access will be yes. But that's it. This is the only thing you have to do. Then you have to go to the company menu and connect the company at the client's server end or client's computer. It is connected now. It is disconnected. Again, we are connecting, showing how to connect. Now, you know, there is an option in configuration where you can keep the company connected always. Whenever the client opens the data, then it will automatically be connected. It will automatically be connected. Okay. So now once we, see, Darshan is showing you that when you go to this online access configuration, connect company on loading will be yes. So when it is yes means whenever the client will open this company, it will automatically get connected. And once you have already given the details of the auditor, you don't need to give it again. So it's a one-time job. That's done now. Now let's see, suppose the client has done just a simple thing. He has done just this thing. This takes only 1 minute. It's connected now. Now let's do one thing. Suppose I am sitting here and I as an auditor now want to access the client data. So now I'll be sharing my screen now. Okay, now we have come to the auditor's end. Whatever Darshan was doing, that was the client end. The client has done this bit. Now the only thing is that when you open Tally Prime, you can see these are the options. Let's say there is an option, select remote company. Just click there, select remote company. Don't open any data. Suppose I don't have any data on this computer. This is my computer as an auditor. As soon as you select company, remote company, you will be prompted to give your email ID and password, TallyNet ID and password. Suppose the email ID which I gave to the client was auditor1@gurvca.com, and I share my TallyNet. I give my TallyNet password to open it. As soon as I log in, you can see it shows me that this company is online. This is the client company which Darshan had given access as an auditor to me. So now I will simply click enter. And you can see the entire screen is visible. It is just like I'm sitting at the client's end on the client machine and operating. I can do everything, whatever rights have been given. So I can, go to the balance sheet. I can view the balance sheet. I can go for that matter to any of the ledgers. I want to see any ledger. I can go to the ledger. I can open any ledger. I can see anything. So you can see I can drill down till the voucher level and see all these things. So it's just like you're sitting on the client data. In fact, there are audit analysis tools also. Those are also, we'll come to that later, this analysis part. So everything you can do, and I'm working right now remotely. The data is not on my system. Still, you can see, it shows you here also that remote ID is this. What was the remote login time? When was the last remote login time? It shows everything. So remotely, you are working on this. So this is how you connect to the client data. Rest all, you know how you operate the data. So I'll just stop the screen share. So another thing is there, when you give the access, the client gives access. Yeah, there's a question coming up. I'm coming to the same thing only. Mr. Umesh has mentioned that if we change entry in client data, so there's an option when you go to the user and roles. Darshan, can you just move there? Yeah, user roles. There is an option, user roles. You go to the TallyNet auditor. because we have given access to the auditor as a TallyNet auditor. Here, what we can do is that we can change this. Instead of use basic facilities of owner, maybe you can mention use TallyNet auditor, and going down here, you can disallow create alter vouchers. You can disallow create alter vouchers. You can disallow create alter masters. You can disallow these things. So what will happen is that if you are not given this option, then you won't be able to do anything. And this is a one-time job. Once this user role is created, then you don't need to do it again and again. So whenever any empty number of IDs you are assigning from the client's end as a TallyNet auditor, they won't be able to alter any masters, any vouchers. They will only be given basically a read-only access, where they can't edit the data. So there is no issue at the client ends for altering the data. I hope it is clear now. So now let's move next. This was how you can very simply, within 5 minutes, we have seen that how easy it is to just connect to the client data without asking from them to share the data. And whatever changes, if they want to give you the edit access, then they can very well allow you the edit access, where if you want, you can pass the closing entries or something like this, and you can tell them that, yeah, the entries have been made. So this was one of the things. Now, another thing is that the browser access. It is a very good feature which came in the some last versions of Tally ERP9 before we moved to Tally Prime. And as far as the browser is concerned, you will see. Now, one thing, let me tell you, for remote access, you can do remote access from anywhere, right? And from any laptop which is having Tally Prime. And Darshan, I believe, even if someone is having educational version, then also they can use as a remote login, remote user.
Yes, sir. That is the most beneficial part. That even if our articles are at home and they might not be having a license in their systems, so even in educational Tally Prime, they can access the data of client, and they can suggest them or do all the audit parts from that place also without license, educational Tally.
Yeah, so see, that's great. Suppose your 10 articles are working at 10 different locations, you don't need to give them the original Tally license. You can download the Tally Prime from the website of Tally Solutions, I think, and from there, even in educational mode, you can log in as remote user and you can very well access the client data. So it's a great feature which is helpful in the current times, especially when we CA firms are working with our articles. So now the next thing is the browser thing, where you don't even need Tally software. You can use these browser reports. You can view most of these reports which are useful for audit on the browser, which can be opened on the mobile or on your laptop without even having Tally on your system. I would request Darshan, can you just show this thing and speak in between? And can we, please.
So friends, here we have need to enable, just like how we enable for remote access. So in F11, we will enable this feature. Okay, enable browser access for reports. Okay, now after doing this configuration, the same configuration as we did for remote access, we go here, we go to users and passwords. So when I go over here, so under every TallyNet user, okay, let's say in our case, it was, 1 second. Auditor one. So now we had already given the remote access for him, but also on a browser access. Let's say sir is my auditor, Vikashji, is on move, and he is able to have access only right now on mobile. So what I need to do, I just need to allow browser access and say this option as yes, and then save this. So once after doing this, and I connect my company, now sir can open, if he's working on tablet, whether he's working on mobile or on laptop, he just needs to open any browser, okay, and then just log in with his username and password, and he will be able to access this company entirely over there. So right now already we have connected, okay, and sir can do this. So
Darshan, can we also ask the viewers also to try one end at their systems? Practically, can they try?
You are demanding some extra things.
But it's always good to engage with everyone. It's good to engage with participants, and they will also feel a part of it. So if possible for you, can you share any, any remote ID by which they can, also on their browser, open it and see that how they can access this data at the same time live when we are speaking. Of course, I'll also share my screen.
So what we'll do is that I'll just give you one option for friends. I have enabled something over here. 1 minute. So I have added one user over here called as demotallyuser@gmail.com. So this is one Tallynet owner, okay, who has been given allow browser access. Okay, and after this, okay, now what we need to do. So for everyone, what they can do is that they can go on to Tally website. So this is the Tally website, normal, okay. And on this Tally website, login, and in the login option, what we need to do is that we just need to write.
Your screen, browser screen is not visible.
Okay.
Should I share? Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Not a problem. You can see. So that would be very much live, sir. So I think you can open, you can share your screen.
Yeah. Okay. So you can just mention the Tallynet ID and password in the chat so that everyone can try it out.
Sure. Demotallyuser @
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Gmail.com. And the password is 12345.
So friends, you can see, you just have to go to tallysolutions.com. Any of your articles, their team members, or we also can go to tallysolutions.com. There's an option called login. Now here in the Tallynet user ID, you have to type demo tally user, right? Demo tally user at gmail.com. Gmail.com. Okay. And the password is 12345. 12345. This is just a normal browser. Now we are logging in. Yeah, you can see this company is online. That's why it's showing connected and it's green. Just click on that. This is the company which we connected, and you can see the entire list of all reports. Suppose if you want to view trial balance, just go there, very simple. Current liabilities, sundry creditors. I can in fact go and drill down till any level. This is the ledger level. In fact, you can see I have got to the level of purchase invoice. And how fast is it working? Mane, this is really great. I'm telling you, even we are using it at times when we are not, when we don't want to give access to, suppose temporarily, if you want to see something, if any of the team members want to see something, they can just go on their browser and log in. And it's so fast. Just go back.
Right now you're on what? Which machine? It's a Windows machine?
No, it's a MacBook.
MacBook. So
I'm using on my MacBook.
Okay. So there are many people who might be using MacBook or Chromebook. So in that scenario, if anybody wants to access without having Tally installed on their machines, okay, a tablet or on mobile, they can open any browser and do this process.
Yeah, I'm sure that some of them might have done by now. If you can mention on the chat that whether you were able to see this company, and simultaneously when I am also accessing, maybe 3, 4, 5 people can also access this, right? Right. So we have got many yes. So that's great. So everyone is able to use this, and you can see here a hell lot of reports are there. All kind of reports are there. Stock reports, stock summaries, sales order, everything. So it's almost the entire books of accounts is at your disposal, right? So let's now stop this. And
balance sheet.
Yeah.
So
pardon?
We can go to balance sheet or anything of that sort if we want to have some advanced working on it. So we can download the reports on Excel or we can even download it in PDF format.
Let's say this stock summary. Now, there is an option, just a sec. Suppose we want to download this. So straight away there's an option, download as Excel or download as PDF. If you click download as PDF, it has downloaded. Similarly, download as Excel also, there's an option, you can download as Excel as well. That's a great feature. You can download the trial balance also and everything, right? You can change the period as well. Suppose you want to change the period from 1st April 19, let's say to 30th June for first quarter you want to see. So you see, this has changed. Whatever you want to do, you can do. You can get inside, you can see, drill down, right? Anything else, Darshan, you would like to highlight them as per the browser report is concerned?
So this is like a very good feature which will, it is keep on enhancing, and you will find a very good new release which will be coming for this release 2. So it will enhance the mobile experience like anything. And you will find few magical things also. And like in balance sheet, let's say if you are looking in your mobile, so if you are keeping your mobile in the vertical format, okay, then it will show you balance sheet in vertical format. And if you tilt your mobile onto horizontal way, then it will convert it into the T format. So it is very intuitive for people, those who have really understood accounts to a greater level. So Tally is also one application in that sense. So it understands your behavior and way of working. So just experience it. You will really enjoy this in upcoming things also, and upcoming releases also, and this release also, it is very good. So that's it for this from my side, sir.
Yeah. So I'm sure that all of you must have had a good experience in using this browser mode of the reports, which is really very fast. In fact, at times I start feeling that it is faster than the actual data which I'm accessing through Tally, even if it is on the server. At times I have felt this. So it's a great feature, this browser reports.
Good part is that.
Okay. So now let's move to another part of it. I'm sure that you all must have seen that how this Tally remote working and browser thing works. Even if you have queries, you can put on the question answer tab. If time permitting, we will show it again. Otherwise, of course, the Tally team is here. You can mail it to them, and then they will, show you later, or maybe tell you on mail that how you can access it again. Okay. So now this was one part. Now we would like to show you another thing. This was how you can remotely connect or access the data. Now, another thing is that let's go to audit and analysis part. You all must be aware, some of you might have also used the audit and analysis tool, which was there in Tally ERP. It was there on the main screen itself. This audit tool, audit tab was there, under which there was Schedule 6 balance sheet, and there was, audit and analysis tool and all. Now in Tally Prime, you have to go to display more reports. And there's a thing, analysis and verification. Once you go to analysis verification, there are two tabs, data analysis and voucher verification. We will start with the data analysis thing. Now for this, I would request, can you just take the other data?
Here it is like, I've kept the data in some folder. So what is the general format of Tally of navigating into the folder is that you go to that specific drive. Okay, let's say if I've kept it over here in D drive, Tally folder, and Tally Prime, and there in data, and then there's some statutory audit, some folder I have created, and some my clients, and all those things. Like I go inside and I keep my clients folders like this. So then we copy this and paste it in Tally. But Tally Prime is one of the features that you can navigate to that from Tally screen itself. So from this place only, like I can go into select from drive, D drive, from D drive, I can go into Tally, I can go into Tally Prime, I can go into data. Okay. And then later on, I can move into other reports also, other statutory audit. And these are the two companies which I need to audit. So this is the way how you can do the navigation in Tally Prime. It is one of the good feature and really advantageous for chartered accountants who are working on multiple companies of their clients. Also, along with that, multiple years also. Yeah. So these are two companies. Sir, which company should I load first, sir?
13.1 and 12.1. Let's load first. Let's load 12 and then 13.
Okay. So can you help me with the password, sir?
Yeah, it's admin and the same. Yeah. 13.1 also. Same.
Now, sir, there is one good thing in Tally.
Yeah.
If I have to open two companies and which is having same passwords, so I can set one option in Tally settings, and in this startup there is one option: enable auto login for companies with same same credentials. So if I make this option as yes, then what I can do is that let's say this company, both the companies are closed right now. So I open this one company, provide admin, and then password as A. Okay, I have opened it. My another company is also having the same username and password. So when I go for the selection of that company and another company I open, it will open without asking me that username and password.
Yeah, so without the company is having same password, user login details, you don't need to enter the password again in Tally Prime. There's a good feature in this. Yeah.
Yes, sir. On to you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So now, like friends, this is a demo data. This is for the purposes of instructions only and for training only, and how you can use the audit and analysis features. So don't go on the dates, whether it is 12 or 13 or 2012, 13, doesn't matter. We will straight away go to display more reports and analysis and verification. Okay. So can you just show Darshan again? Someone is asking on the help tab, that thing that enable login. Yeah.
My screen is seen.
Yeah.
So from here, Gateway of Tally, I go navigate to display. Then I go at the bottom, analysis and verification.
No, not this. I think they were asking about the same user login, same like login details thing in the help menu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to help.
Settings.
We go to startup.
Right.
So here we enable
login. Thank you. So now let's move to display more reports, audit analysis. Now, interestingly, this audit and analysis tool is also available to you when you do a remote login through TallyNet ID, which we showed in the first place. Let's go to the data analysis part. Friend, most of the things now, right, remotely also when we will be working, most of the things we will have to do remotely. So 70 to 80% part of our audit is data analysis. Then we do the sampling, then we choose which are the items for which we need some documents, information, or clarification from the client, and we take that clarification. But the majority part, 75 to 80%, is our internal analysis by our team. And when we find out that what are our key observations, what are our key notings after we do the ledger scrutiny. So one way of doing the ledger scrutiny is we go to the balance sheet, we go to the trial balance, we go to each and every ledger, we do the vouching for entire cash book, we see what is there. That is a normal way of doing it. But there is an audit analysis tool in which I will highlight some of the key things which are very useful and which practically our team is using when we are auditing on Tally. So you can see there is the first thing is that once you go to the data analysis, there are a lot of things here. Now, there is an option, you can see the analysis period is 12-13, let's say. Previous year period is not applicable. We will first compare company. So we have to go to compare company, or we can go to company as well. It's okay. And choose 12 as the compare company. Yeah. So now 12-13 is the previous year company, and let's say 11-12 is the previous year company, and 12-13 is the audit period company, which we are doing. Now, this is when, suppose this is ideally helpful when the data for last year is the final data based on which you have prepared the audit report. Many times what happens is that the data which we finalize is the data which we keep at our end, and the client many times, doesn't update that data at their end. So it is useful in those cases when we take the previous year company as the data which we finalized last, and if it is available with us. Or even if at the client's end, if the client has split the data for 2 years and it is not a continuous data, then presuming that the last year data which he has is the data which is as per the audit report's finalized data, we take that as previous year company. And this is the analysis period. Now, first point is verification of chart of accounts. You can see. Let's go to verification of chart of accounts. Now there are numerous options. The first option is accounts squared up during the year. We go there, accounts squared up during the year. Now this particular feature shows us that what are the accounts which are squared up during the year, which maybe did not have any opening balance, which maybe did not have any closing balance, but were there. So this is very important because many times when we see trial balance, we might miss something which was not there in opening, something which was not there in closing, but during the year some transactions were there. Let's, for example, have a look at B. Ramesh loan. Now this transaction, when we go inside, we have to, for going inside, you have to go to show ledger. Just select there's an option show ledger here. Yeah, you can see. Now this is the ledger. Now you see 25,000 was given in cash and 25,000 repaid back in cash. Now we all know that as per the income tax, section 269 SS&T, more than 20,000, you're not allowed to take or give loan in cash. Not allowed to do that. So that means this is a violation, but since there is no opening, no closing, they could have missed that. From here, we come to know that what are the ledgers in which there were transactions, but no, opening, closing. Now, again, we can also see a similar example. Let's say go to SK Dealers Private Limited. Go to the show ledger part. Yeah, show ledger. Now, from here only, you can see you don't have to go back and see display account ledger. So you can, from here only, you can see that show ledger shows you the entire ledger. Now you can see that this SK dealer, let me assume, let me tell you that suppose we know that this SK Dealers is a related party having common director. This is an associate of Sri Krishna Traders, the auditing company. So what happens is that you can see that a loan has been given, loan has been repaid back. So the opening closing transactions are zero, doesn't reflect your trial balance, closing balance, but these transactions have happened. Now you all know that if any loan is given to any company in which the directors are interested, then Section 185 of Companies Act is attracted. And there could be a violation if prior special resolution is not passed. Or for that matter, let's say you have to check that whether deemed dividend is applicable under Section 222E of the Income Tax Act, where you can't give loan to any company in which, suppose the person shareholder holding 10% is holding more than 20% or something like that. So here you can see that these kind of transactions, which otherwise may not be having opening closing balances, but these are violations you can get from this report. And let's go to one more feature. Suppose you find that you select any of these transactions in a SK dealer only. Just show ledger. Yeah. Now press enter. You can see there is, yeah, you press enter. Yeah, you can see as soon as on that voucher, or let's say we can also do it at the ledger level. As soon as you go on this voucher, there is an option verified on hold, external clarification, internal observation. Suppose you want an external clarification from the client. You choose external clarification and you write that to check, let's say, to check violation of Section 185 and 222E, whether it is a related party, something like this, anything, let's say, to check violation. Just press enter and clarification from whom. Suppose we want it from the account head of the client. These are the users which use this data. Vishwanath, yeah, account head, accept. So you see there will be a mark here that this is something which is problematic. So this will, what will happen to this? This is for your end also, it will show you that this is pending, something is pending. And when Vishwanath logs in and he sees this audit and analysis tool, he will be shown that a clarification is required from him on this particular thing. So remotely, without even telling him, without even mailing him, he will just be able to know that this requires some clarification and he will respond to it from when he logs in. This is a great feature and we will use it further also. Let's Darshan escape from here. Yeah, so this was one of the features. Now we go to another one, let's say not used in current year, the fourth one. Now, what does this not used in current year means? Not used in current year means there are certain ledgers which were used last year, but these are not used in the current year. So this can be important where certain things are missed. Let's say you can see there is a bonus paid. let's say the bonus was provided last year, this year they have forgot to provide the bonus. So this can be one of the things which is there. Or maybe there are numerous things, like suppose some other provision was there last year, which you can see some incentive was there. There is an option incentive. This incentive was given last year, let's say, but this year it has not been provided. It could be, it was required to be accrued. So these things, you know, whatever ledgers were there, which were used last year, which has not been used this year, this is the list of those ledgers. Otherwise, it is very difficult to find those, whether it has been used, whether it has not been used. So here you get a snapshot. It is a filtered thing, which you get here very easily. Let's move to the next. Next, let's go to only balance, no transaction. Now, first thing which we discussed was where there were transactions, but there were no opening closing balance. Now, this is something which is different. This is where you have got closing balances, but there was no transaction. Let's say some license fees was payable since opening and it has not been paid. So you come to know why it has not been paid. There was no transaction. Only balance is running, old balances. Maybe this year they have debited it directly to the expense and it should have been debited to this opening. So this kind of things is there. Okay. Regrouped. Many times we see that in the year end, there is a party which is grouped in creditors as per the presentation. And in this year, they have regrouped it as debtors. So you can see in 11-12 data, this Amar computer was shown as debtors. But maybe you are also purchasing goods from him or something like that. So they have credited it in creditors. They have grouped it under creditors this year. So these are some regrouping. Whatever regrouping is done from the last year's data, you can also see here only. Yeah. These were certain things which are there in important things which were there in verification of chart of accounts. Let's go to verification of stock items, inventories. You know, the more I'll be speaking only of few of these important ones, more you do it yourself, then you will be able to know each of these features, each of these tools is really very important and can be used at many places. In fact, while I'm speaking, I'm sure many of you might have figured out that what can be actually analyzed from this kind of report. You can also mention on chat if you have something in mind that, yeah, from this we can also analyze this, from this we can also analyze this. It is like that. Difference in opening stock. Last year's data's closing and this year's opening, let's say, has some changes. You can see hard disk 30 numbers, last year it was 60 numbers. In fact, when you go to monitor, you can see that the closing amount is same, 184,862. But the quantity is differed. In the last year's closing, it was 60 numbers. Here it is 50 numbers. So something is wrong. So with a click of a button, you can see what is the difference in opening stock. Yeah. Escape. Yeah. You can also go to the store stock item. And from here, you can view the entire stock ledger. So you don't need to go back again. From here only, you just select and show ledger, or show stock item. You can get the entire details and you can drill down till the entry level also. Yeah, so go back. Now, negative stock. Negative stock, you all know whatever is there as negative will be shown. This is also shown in exception reports. There is one good option here. You can see this is the negative which is shown you in the opening and closing of the audit period. But there is an option here, you can see daily negative stock. If you click on that, what happens? Suppose here you know that it is only, there is one item which has got a closing negative. Now let's see daily negative stock. Just click on daily negative stock. You can see that there are 5 items which are having any time during the year a negative balance, which is not allowed. In fact, the accounts can be rejected by any officer if stock or cash or anything is negative. So from here, you can see that these are 5 items which are having negative stock. Although they are not having opening closing negative, let's go to one of them. Let's go to the analysis and variance reports. Or let's go to a stock item. Let's go to CD-ROM jackets. Just press escape. Just CD-ROM jacket. Maybe, no. Just stay here only, negative stock. Yeah, just show daily negative stock. Yeah, just go to this, maybe this HCL thing, HCL Celeron or USB pen drive. Let's go to USB pen drives. Yeah, select this, show stock item. You can see that there are negatives during the year. Although the opening and closing is not negative. So many times it is not possible for us where there are 10,000 items or 1,000 items to go in each and every item and check whether there is any negative or not. You can also get it from exception reports when you choose the periodicity, but it is a very easy way to get it from audit analysis tool where you can see that there 5 items were there. If you go to any of the items, you can see there is negative. So you have to ask the client that where it is negative, why it is negative. You can escape from this same level only. Let's say you go to USB pen drives and press enter. So at the stock item also, suppose for this entire stock item, you want some clarification, you can go to on hold, and you can mention here a verification note that this to be verified or something like that. Anything which you want needs verification, needs clarification. So this will be on hold and it will show that it is on hold. See, verification status. Now let's go back. Let's go to another item, which is, only balance, maybe only balance, no transactions. Now, these are certain items which you can say are items which are not having any transactions. So we need to, as an auditor, sometimes we need to check what are the slow moving items. What are the items which are not having any transaction, which are having balances since opening? Why these are there? Whether these are defective, whether these need to be written off. So all these things you can get here, that if there is no transaction, if there is, no transaction, but only opening balances are carried forward, you can get it from here, right? So this was related to verification of stock. Now let's move to another menu item. Let's move to another. Yeah, this is very important. This is my favorite, let me tell you. Just can you go back, Darshan, once? This was at verification of balances. Yeah, please get inside. Now, you can see that many times a very good time is spent by articles on verifying the opening balances. What happens is, at least I have felt it many times while auditing, that what happens is that last year's data is finalized, you do certain changes on that data, but it is not carried forward in the opening data because the client already has split the data, or maybe they have started using the data. And once the things are finalized, the data which is finalized for last year has got different balance and opening has got different balance. So suppose you are sure that the last year's data which is there, it is as per the audited balance sheet. Maybe it is available at your office or at the client's office, but it is the final data. You know this. You have saved it in your working folder. Now, when you check this year's opening, it automatically will show you in each and every ledger where is the difference. You can show it a detailed. You can also have a detailed view by pressing Alt F1. Yeah, you can have a detailed view also here, and you can also have a look at only the exception part. Just press escape. You can drill down, of course. Here, there is an option balance variance. This is the balance variance. You can go back once. Go to F12. See there, show exceptions first. Yes. Yeah. Expand all levels, yes. These red ones you can see are the ones which are having differences. That this is the opening balance in the current data, and this is what is being shown there. So you can also drill down. You can check what is the problem there. Like we saw that one of the ledger was shown in debtors, one of the ledgers was shown in creditors. So all this figure out, you can do at a click of a button, and then you can ask the team to work on this and get it rectified. Let's say last year it was Money Electricals, and this year someone is mentioned as Mr. Money. So this is the difference. So all kinds of differences in closing and opening balance you can get here. And this is, believe me, very important. If you have the last year's final data and you want to check the opening balances, saves a lot of time. Otherwise, in trial balances which are running into 4, 5, 6 pages, it is very difficult to gauge these. So for stock item, we can check from there, and for this, we can check from here. Accounting, yeah, we can go back. Next, I'll just come quickly to repeated transactions. What is repeated transactions? Repeated transactions is where similar value in the same ledger is appearing more than once. Like suppose rent is appearing 18 times. So you can go and check in the ledger why it is appearing. From here, you can go to show ledger and see, why it is appearing 18 times. Rent should appear maybe. So because it is office rent and HDFC OD. So go back. Now let's say, let's go to a ledger conveyance. You can see conveyance there. So you can see entry of 8,500, same amount has been entered 7 times. So suddenly it comes to your mind, how can the conveyance be same for 7 times in a year? Something may be fishy. So you can maybe again put a observation or something like this. Go back. Let's say go to cash sales. There is a ledger cash sales, I think. Can you see cash sales there? Cash sales. You can see, just go back. Just go back. You can see same transaction of 1,90,000 in 3 vouchers. Okay, go there, just press enter. You can see on December, within a span of 1 or 2 days, every day there is an entry of cash sales of 1,90,000. So suddenly comes to your mind that how can the same amount of cash sales happening maybe here? You all know that beyond 2 lakhs, it is not allowed to raise a single invoice. Could this be a reason? Could this be a reason that whether 1,90,000 is there? So this is fishy. This could be fishy. So these kind of thing, repeated transactions is helpful in these kind of things. Yes. Let's go back. Another very important feature here is relative size factor. Now, relative size factor means where, in a particular ledger, there is one, any particular amount, a very high amount entry, and one can be very low entry. Let's go to, let's say, electricity only. You can see normally electricity, just go back one session. This is showing relative size factor of 13, which is very high. So let's go inside now. You can see that normally the amounts are 5,000 per month. Suddenly an amount is 75,000. So you can go there, you can go in the entry also, and you can check maybe that something is wrong. Being the purchase of generator. So generator purchase has been actually debited in electricity. So that was the reason of this odd entry which is coming in there. So now you can put in hold, you can give your remarks that this should be capitalized as a generator or whatever, right? So we move out of it since time is short. You can give any observation here. So there's another thing, transactions on holiday. It shows you what are the transactions which were held on a holiday, which was maybe a Sunday or a national holiday or whatever it is. So you can check maybe whether this is eligible, not eligible, all these things. Okay. So let's go back. This is a holiday configuration, which is there, master configuration. Now, I think this is what I wanted to discuss at this point of time. We'll have to rush, I think, because we have to take question answers also. Now, this is very important part, this voucher verification. What we discussed, some part of it was data analysis. There are a lot of things. What I discussed was maybe only 1/3 of it, not even 1/3. You have to go and explore yourself. These are the important ones which we discussed. Now, we are going to voucher verification. See, there are numerous vouchers. Let's say in any client data could be 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 1,000, whatever. You can't vouch each and everything. So here there are systematic way of sampling. Suppose if we go to, let's say, purchase. Let's go to the purchase and select that purchase voucher type. Now, we have to sample it, but we don't want to manually sample it because manual sampling is not a systematic way. So you go to sampling methods there. There is an option sampling methods on the right side. There are different kind of sampling methods. There is an amount range. There is an even numbered voucher. Let's say we choose even numbered vouchers. Even numbered vouchers means starting voucher number, let's say 1, let's say 2 or whatever. So it will automatically show you whatever is the even numbered voucher. So it has automatically selected out of 62. Let's say the even numbers are this 31. Now you go to that 31 tab and you press enter. It will show you these are the vouchers which they have selected. Now from here only, you can check these. If you have any clarification, you can mention this. If you press enter again, the same screen will open up, verified, or you want some clarification, or you want something from here. If it's okay, then you can verify. If you need any clarification, if you need on hold, anything you can do. And that will be reflected therein. You can also, if you need any clarification internally also, then suppose you can press internal clarification here and you can, mark any of your other auditors whose ID is given here. So it will be shown to that senior. That senior has to, tell that whether any clarification is required, that senior will tell. When you press enter, you will see that there are a lot of names coming in, and this is an internal observation which will be there to shown to the team members. This will not go to the client. This internal observation remains within your team only. So this is how. Now escape. Let's see one more sampling method. Let's say we take here only verification of vouchers. Let's say we go to cash, maybe payment. Yeah. See, you can see we have chosen Benford analysis. Benford analysis I'm not going to discuss right now because it's a complicated analysis of sampling. So, but the system automatically did a Benford analysis, and out of 524 vouchers, it has selected these 51 sample vouchers here, where you can go and select those 51 vouchers. Similarly, you can choose a amount range also. Just go to sales, let's say. Yeah, sampling is amount range. You can mention that I want to see from 5,000 to 50,000 or from 5,000 to 50,000 or whatever. So it will show you only those amounts out of this 60 payroll, which are between 5 to 50,000, maybe something like this. So these are various kind of sampling, which suppose as a partner or as a audit manager, if you sample this, it becomes so easy for the articles to just focus on those sampled vouchers and not choose the entire tally data and select randomly, which does not have any basis. So we can move ahead, go back from here. There is one more option here, related party. You can see related party. If you define what are the related parties in masters, you can get a list of what are the related party transaction. It can help you in, framing section 188 notes to accounts, which are required to be given. And also, your tax audit section 40A, you can get to know. And how Ms. Darshan is showing you how you can classify any particular party as related party. You can go to that ledger, select that. Let's say Challenger Systems. Select that. Update is related party. Yes, no, that's it. Relation type, you can mention associate, let's say, or anything. So this is once in the master, you can do this. And since you're working on the client data, it remains at the client end. And next year also, if you do audit, you can, very well use this. And next year also, whatever transactions are there, you can get a report of this related party transactions from here. So these were some highlights which, we wanted to show to all of you. And I really believe me that once we start using this, our entire team starts using it, we will find it very helpful and it will be very interesting. So explore this. This is my only submission, that we all should explore as much as we can. And in these remote times, these tools along coupled with the remote access and browser feature is going to help us a lot. With these words, I would request if Darshan, you have to say anything. Otherwise, I think we can we can take up the question answers. Darshan. Take up the question. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's all from my side. Then Janak and all, you can take over, please, and take the question answers, whatever are the relevant to the session.
Yes. So I'm taking the question and answers. So Mangesh ji is asking, what is the difference between auditor and owner.net user types?
Technically, there is no difference as such. These are two different levels which we have created, and so that we can have a separate separate configuration for owners and separate configuration for auditors, so that they do not mix it up. So that's the difference.
Right. Basically, I would like to add here that the important difference which will be there is only that as an owner, you can give maybe all the rights to that person. And as an auditor, you can give maybe only read-only rights. So this can be a difference. So that's why there's a difference in this user level maybe. Okay. Yeah. Next.
So somebody anonymously has asked, how do we set Tally ID and password? Tally.net ID and password.
It's very easy.
Yeah, you can go ahead, Darshi.
So here it is like from whenever if you feel that in Tally Prime it has become very easy. So when I'm thinking like let me add one user, okay, into one company, let's say here I'm making I want to create one user, a TallyNet user. So actually here I'll select TallyNet auditor, let's say, and auditor1@garvca.com, right? Now see, if that email address is not there as a TallyNet user, okay, then it will give me the message that, okay, this is not a TallyNet user, would you like to create them? So you can create them also. And if it is already there into Tally ecosystem, then it will say that, yes, go ahead with it. Okay, now for example, you can give me any email address, okay, and I will write it over here. Let's say I write over here, Darshan, okay, Darshan Mumbai at gmail.com. Now let's say this is not a TallyNet user. Okay, so what it will, the Tally system will do, you just click enter, new user. And now since it is already there, so it will not prompt me anything. But if it was not there, then I will have to just enable with one more password of the license, and then it will get created. And once it is getting created, this email address will get an email from Tally Solutions that your user, your TallyNet user is darshanmumbai@gmail.com and your password is so-and-so. And that password, you can change it at any point of time. So with Tally Prime, this has become very easy. And if any type of that assistance is required, Tally toll-free number will be able to help you for this guidance.
Yes. So next question is this remote audit free or is there any additional fee?
All the TallyNet users, okay, are connected to a license. Let's say Darshan, this is my license with me. So when my Tally license holder can create n number of TallyNet users. Okay, there is no limit for it. So if this TallyNet this license is TSS valid, then all the TallyNet users are valid. So there's no need to pay anything additional for that. So your subscription should be on, and your company or your client who is connecting the data, he needs to have TallyNet subscription. So that is sufficient enough for any remote access to work upon.
Yeah. Building onto that, Monica ji is asking, can we save or print vouchers in remote access?
100%, you can do it. Yeah. In fact, the best part is that we were seeing things on mobile, and you can download from there and you can WhatsApp it to anybody. So that was also a good way of doing business and doing working.
Yes. Manoj ji is asking, how do we access statutory reports in remote users?
Currently, it is not configured. In the forthcoming releases, you will be able to see it, because since there is a lot of change which has come after in GST. So we are redefining the remote access for statutory reports. So very soon you would be getting that.
Yes. Okay. Uttam ji has posted few comments. Hi Uttam ji. We have session with Uttam sir as well in coming weeks. Welcome Uttam ji on the forum.
Yes, Uttam ji is also very, I would like to add, yes, Uttam ji, you are right, correct that there are a lot of options there. And in fact, the best part of using this audit tool is that you are right that you don't need to directly go into the entry, and from there only you can analyze and prepare the questionnaire and allocation. Yeah.
Thanks, Uttamji, for adding that. Vishak ji is asking, what is the best way to get consolidated data of HO and branch companies? When we create group companies, sometimes the figures on the face of balance sheet and P&L will be different from the total of individual balances. Sometimes the total of group of sundry debtors will be different from debtor figures appear in the balance sheet of the group company. So mainly he's asking, how do we get consolidated data of HO and branch companies?
It is, of course, you can get there, but although this is not a topic related to this session, so I think we can maybe take it later, because, or maybe if you want to speak, Darshan, you can speak on this.
I'll finish in one single line. You need to see that your base currencies are same for all the companies. Base currency in the sense, if I go into this company alter, so if you see the currency over here, so it should be this symbol and this base formal name. If this is same, then you will be able to see all the reports in a better way. If incorrect, then there would be an error. Else, you can contact our toll-free number for getting this. It's not a problem. It is just a small correction needed.
Yes. Another question is, if the data of FY 11-12 and FY 12-13 is different, is it possible to compare 2 years balances as shown in the screen?
Yes, of course. That's what we did now. When financial 11-12, let's say 2 separate years are in separate files, then only it sends comparing it, because if it's a continuous data, then of course there will no point comparing. It's already there, it's continuous, right? So when there are different data, for one financial year, the data is different and the other data is different, then only you can compare, and you can easily compare.
Yeah, in fact, Monica ji is also commenting on that. She said ledger grouping has to be same, she said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Monica ji, for that. Taraknath, okay, Uttam ji is asking, is commenting, relative size factor should be used along with high and low value transactions. Yes, Uttam ji, noted.
Yeah.
Moving on to next question. Taraknath Deji is asking how to prepare cash flow as per Schedule 3.
Well, Schedule 3, as far as current Schedule 3 is concerned, it is not there in this version. But I'm hopeful that Tally will be working on it, and in the future versions, they will be maybe coming up with something on this.
Yes, it is work in progress, sir.
Yeah.
Mangesh Bansal is asking how to access, is first of all Tally available on MacBook, and how to access it on Mac OS? Darshan, you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll take it. So currently, if I say direct hosting of Tally on a MacBook is not there. Okay. However, there are many people who are using Tally on MacBook, just like right now we are able to see that Sir is using, Vikash is using on his MacBook Tally. So there are 2 ways you can address it. One is having Windows virtualization in your system. And second is using some emulators like called as Wine or Crossover. So these emulators help you for opening Windows EXE on your machine. However, these are 2 options currently people are using. You can use Tally on Linux machine also, Android, Chrome OS also. So, but with this way of working.
Yeah, Mangesh ji, actually, in fact, I'll be also very happy once Tally comes up with the Mac version also. But let me tell you, I have been using MacBook since last 5 years, more than 5 years. And I did not have any issue, because as already told, there is one option is you can use parallel windows also. There's a legal option of using that. And other than that, like I am currently using VPN to access the other machine, the other server, where I can easily use this. Yeah.
Yes. K. Prabhuji is asking, who creates the Tally.net password, the client or the auditor?
Tally.net password is when a new Tally.net email address we specify over there, then Tally will send him one email that now you are a Tally.net user and your password is so and so. And then later on you can change it any point of time.
Yeah.
So next question is CA Umesh Jethani ji is asking, when we are working remotely, will the client be able to see what we are doing?
No, I don't think the client will. How will the client be able to see what we are doing? It is not like AnyDesk or something like that. You are working remotely on the data, but it is not that whatever you are working, the client won't be able to see like it is in any desk or team viewer if you are doing. I think you want to ask this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the best part is that he does not the accountant keeps on working his own things, and an auditor is doing his own work. So nobody work is created. Any hurdle is created for it.
Yeah, there is no disruption to anyone's work. Yeah.
Yes. Vanna madam is raising hand. Let me see what she has to add. Hello, Vanna ji. I've unmuted you.
The best question and the best answer is this. Okay, there can be, see, in the start, Darshan has shown that disallow any transaction entry to the auditor. They have only the view rights. If they permit the auditor to have the access to edit the data or ownership rights are given, then whatever user ID you have logged in through remotely will be shown under that, voucher edited by Tally Audit tool also. There is one audit feature is there. When you create the company, use the Tally Audit features. There are users, passwords, name that. Darshan, you can showcase them. Okay, this was inbuilt when the Tally started, and then this was coming that way. So basically that was the add-on. And then one more add-on I wanted to give that, squared up during the year. So certain times, what clients does, they don't create the ledger where they have entered into the loan account. They may create under the debtors or creditors. So how on the earth auditors will come to know? So Tally gives you such an option that what is squared up during the year, immediately at one go you come to know, and then you just can find out which grouping they have done. So overall, thank you Vikash for such a wonderful session. I just liked it.
Thanks,
and whatever they said, the participants, see, remote access, meaning we are not blocking the window of the Tally owner. The one filler they have to understand is that original Tally, where the data is lying, should be on. Then only that connect button has to be on. Connectivity has to be on by the client. Then only a remote auditor can log in and do the data entry. Third point, there's a dashboard. Darshan, can you show the dashboard? If auditor has put any query, then the other party will come to know. And that is why there was a separate menu for the client to see what the auditor has asked the query. So the auditor, the client staff need to go here and see if there is any query lying for them. These are the three things I wanted to highlight.
Yeah.
And then
thank you, Vandana.
And once we have audited, see, auditor will be secured. Why Tally also takes care. If once I have audited the voucher and somebody is altering that voucher, it will be highlighted in the dashboard.
In fact, I would like to. Yeah.
That is from my side.
Very correct.
Yeah.
Thank you. In fact, I would like to, Vandana ji, your comments are really appreciable, and all this is really helpful. And let me tell you, friends, one more thing is that whenever you are auditing and you are sampling certain things, you are putting forward your external clarifications, observations, anything, you can also, export those sampled vouchers along with all the comments in Excel and all. And why it will help you is that it will act as your working documents. And suppose if many times we have to get ourselves peer reviewer comes up. So at the time of peer review, you can show that this is the way you are working on the system, and it will add on, it will be a great value addition to the way by which you are doing the audit.
Yes.
Moving on.
Yes, moving on. Somebody has asked, is it necessary for both auditor and client to be on Tally Prime? Can Tally Prime and ERP work on remotely? Darshan, you want to pitch in here?
This is...
Can the client be on Tally ERP and auditor be on Prime? Darshan, we are not able to hear.
Both needs to be, I think, on Tally Prime only.
Yeah.
Same platform.
Yeah.
Yes, they have to be on the same platform, Umesh ji. Darshan, your voice is quite low.
Yeah.
So next question is by Archit ji. Any keyboard shortcuts for browser access? For example, in original we have backspace. Keyboard shortcut for browser access. Didn't completely understand that, but Darshan, what is the shortcut? Can you say using
browser
keyboard
access? You need to connect the company. That's it.
Yeah, press Alt K and then press O.
O.
I think that is the keyboard shortcut you can use.
Yeah.
So Shovik Podarji is asking, how can we ensure that only our auditor can access the reports through the browser?
So for all the others, you make it no. So, for example, the company which I was showing you, okay, there were something around 50-60 people who are accessing my company, okay, and that I will tell everyone else. Here I will configure. For all the others, I will make the browser access close.
No. Yeah. So the browser access has to be no for the other users for whom you don't want to give the browser access.
Yeah. Very interesting question somebody has asked. In fact, Umesh has asked, how we take Tally? Can we take Tally data backup from remote access?
What should we do? Should we allow or should we not allow? Vikas, sir.
I don't think we should allow at all, because remote access means that somewhere down the line, the clients wants them to, restrict this, and they want you to work on their data. So, but anyways, if you have to give any owner rights or something like that, but in my view, in remote access, if you give the restricted right, it's always better.
Yes, very true, and agree with the thought process. Yes, Darshan.
No, I mean to say that we got some good feedbacks in this way, and that's why we the remote access which we designed, we were calling it as trusted remote access. So there was a trust involved into it, wherein like nobody else will be able to take your data entirely.
Right.
Yes. Next question is, can we manage accounts through remote access?
Can we manage?
Yes, very well. Manage means you want to enter.
Accounts.
You can do
of course, you can manage. Everything can be done.
Yes.
It's upon the rights which are given by the owner of the data. You can edit if they have given you the rights. You can delete. You can create. You can do whatever you want.
Yes. Monica is asking, can you show an example of voucher printing through browser or remote access?
Madam, all on to you. I have connected this. I'll connect my company. You will be able to do right now itself. You can use the same thing, this demo tallyuser@gmail.com. I have connected this company. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Maybe not related to this forum, but I have a question. Let me know, Darshan, if we can handle it, or does Tally have any reconciliation statement reconciling differences in GST report and P&L?
No. Currently,
Mr. Manan is talking about GSTR 9C, I believe.
Yes,
reconciliation statement.
Currently, no.
Mananji, 9C itself is such a Herculean task that 9C करने में इतना time लग जाता है, तो अभी I think it's not so easy for Tally to generate 9C, and here also, we have to do it on our own because it requires a lot of analysis and legal help on that.
We'll definitely think about the semi-automated way of assisting for this analysis, but not very soon. You will be getting it after some time. Currently, yes, it is into the pipeline, but can't assure you the time when we will be able to deliver.
Yes, Vanna, madam, you wanted to add something here?
I wanted to just add on, Darshan. As of now, whatever GSTR 9 we are giving in Tally itself is very, very helpful. Because if 1 and 3 be properly configured, so the data populated in 9 is so easy that just in outside software you can correlate, And 9C as it is, government has decided to done away with, So your target should be now with integration of Tally as qua the GSTN website जो amendment करते, the way we discussed, कि QRMP में switch in, switch out हो रहा है, that you have to look into, But mark my words, today itself, अगर आपने GST का master configuration properly किया है, तो आपका 9 easily Tally में से ही निकल सकता है.
In fact, here I would like to add that 9C, although government has said that GST audit will not be required as per se, but 9C will be required in a self-certification mode. So maybe Tally can think of, developing the 9C format itself with the 9 and 9C. Most probably the 9 and 9C format for self-certification will be there, and going forward, they will merge 9 and 9C. So maybe Tally can work on preparation of this statement, because it is going to be self-certified, right? So you can work on this reconciliation part.
Yeah.
I cannot accept this, so I would like to qualify one statement over here. Tally is not delivering GSTR 9. Okay, it is having a lot of tables into it, but yes,
Right.
some tables we can deliver. Okay, and that too, it would be on a some type of computation we have done. We are not delivering the 9 GSTR 9. So friends,
of course.
Darshan, what I said is the base data is so proper कि your जो उन्होंने मांगा है वो 80-90% Tally में से मिल ही जाता है. See, everywhere there is a work around, you know.
Really happy to hear it from a chartered accountant practicing and say that we have done a good job, but we are not happy, and we will see to it that we will give you one of the best experience.
हाँ, वो development का scope है अभी भी.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
There is always improvement. ना? In fact, I am तो insisting कि वो audit module में planning please लेके आइए. Audit planning, audit working papers, and all that was there. No? Please bring it back.
Will definitely.
Yes, ma'am. So,
yeah,
yes, I think we'll have to move quickly because we are running very short of time. Yeah. Ashish, if 5 questions are there, we'll take them and then we'll park the rest. Ashish is asking, can we check the GST status of the customer without going to GST portal?
Okay. Thanks for the demand. Already the process is going on. We'll soon be able to see it very soon. Very soon, in the sense it is planned in release 3, so you will be able to see that. Now we will be having release 2, which is coming in a couple of weeks or month, and release 3 would be answering your things.
Yes. Again, Ashish is asking, can we merge 2 Tally data of the same company for comparison? Yes, Ashish, you can load both the companies and compare them. We have covered this in the session. Once we put this up on YouTube, Komal, can you share the link where we can see the recorded webinars in the chat box or somewhere, so people can refer our old webinars, and this webinar will also go on that page, so you can always refer on how we can go about comparing the companies. Yes, thanks Komal for posting that on the chat box. Abhishek Pavanji is asking, sorry if this is repetitive, but how can an auditor with a Tally subscription add users with his or firm within Tally? Can a client provide the user's ID for remote access? So Abhishek, this entire session has been about users creation and remotely working. Once we upload the session, you can always revisit this on how we can go about doing it. That is covered now. Anonymously, somebody has asked how to go backwards by keyboard shortcuts while using Tally through browser. Darshan, is there a provision we can go back using on keyboard when we are using it on browser?
Backspace. Means it is just like back arrow key.
Yes, you can use the backspace also, no?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. So Sandeep Sharma is asking, can we generate tax audit annexures form 3CD from Tally?
Not as of now.
Not currently.
So yeah, that has been the feedback taken. Darshan, you want to take a quick glance in the chat box? There are a lot many chats, but if something that is not covered, that can be taken up. So I think most of it is covered. Yeah. Without permission, I would like to access reports. Just hold on, I'm going to the chat box.
And clear errors in GSTR 1 and 3B report, etc. Can we see and clear errors? Yes, there's a triangulation report. So here, if you are seeing one report, okay, so here there are 2 corrections to be made. So once we are correcting this, our GSTR 1 or 3B or GSTR, this competition, this will become much more readier. Okay, so see, these are the corrections already made. So that's why it's 0. So as an auditor, I would always suggest this report you should see. And here you have to see that it is 0, and even over here. So if these 2 things are 0, then definitely you can file the return properly. Any other, Janak, just seen anything else coming across? Can we check status of GST customer online through?
No, I think Darshan, now we can also wrap this up. Most of it is covered.
Yeah, just what is the status of GST of the customer? So if you're talking about ITC, that you will be seeing in future, but if you want to see his current status of whether he is a regular dealer or composite dealer, that is one what type of dealer he is, and second is whether he is blocked because in e-Waybill there is a concept that if he has not filed his GSTR 3B, then he has been blocked for some e-Waybill and those things. So those things you will be seeing in very near future.
Yes.
That's it.
So there is a couple of quick, in fact, last moment queries that have come up. So somebody has mentioned that, given feedback that they are not able to navigate backwards in browser through backspace. So yeah, we'll check that. Ideally it should. If it does not, the feedback has been taken. And finally, Manan Mehraj is asking, when would Tally update HSN summary in accordance with the new GSTR1 format?
Currently, we have started working on it, but I know there is an immediate need for it. So there is a workaround provided on the Tally website, help document, help.tallysolutions.com. So kindly refer that. And right now I will post that link so that you can also refer to that.
Yes, thanks, Darshan. So with that, we'll now conclude the session. On behalf of the forum, let me first of all thank Vikas sir for delivering such a wonderful session, and basically the whole coordination with Darshan and showing so many nuggets and examples was really helpful. On behalf of Team Tally, Vikas sir and everybody on the panel, let me thank all the attendees who are still with here. 36 people are still with her, which is quite good to have. It was really nice having you on board. Thank you, Vanna madam, also for giving your inputs. Thank you, Uttam sir, for gracing the forum with your presence and sharing your experience. With that, I will now close the session. Darshan, anything you would like to add? Vikas sir, you would like to add?
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And just one thing, I would like to add that whatever features, everything, whatever we have discussed today, I would request all of you in these current times to please go and practically, use these. I'm sure that even if we are able to use 50% of these features, it is going to help us a lot along with our team, and you will see that you are able to save time. At the same time, you are able to, do more justice to the work which we are doing, and it will be a great help. So with these words, thank you all for a patient hearing.